If this world is the wall in Plato's cave, where are we hanging? At first glance, this question may seem like nothing more than a philosophical curiosity. But it actually lies at the very heart of modern science, quantum physics, perception, and consciousness. Because it challenges one of the most fundamental questions of all: what is reality? And the question of what reality truly is has been one of humanity's greatest pursuits for thousands of years. Let's pause for a moment. Is the world we see truly the world? Are we actually seeing reality as it exists out there? Or is what we experience merely the reflection of a much greater reality? A shadow. A trace. A projection. In Plato's allegory of the cave, people spend their lives staring at a wall. They watch the shadows cast upon it. And they believe those shadows are reality. Because they have never seen anything else. Their entire world consists of those shadows on the wall. Having never witnessed reality itself, it is perfectly natural for them to mistake the shadows for the truth. Today, neuroscience tells us something remarkable: we are in much the same situation. Everything we perceive is an interpretation created by the brain. What we call color is the brain's translation of different wavelengths of light. What we call sound is the brain's interpretation of vibrations traveling through the air. Even the sense of touch is a simulation generated by our nervous system. In other words, we do not experience the external world directly. We experience the brain's internal representation of it. This is strikingly similar to the shadows on Plato's cave wall. We, too, are looking at a wall. And we mistake the shadows appearing on it for reality. Modern physics takes this idea even further. According to the holographic universe hypothesis, the three-dimensional world we inhabit may actually be encoded on the surface of a higher-dimensional reality. In other words, what we call reality may simply be the surface of a much larger structure. Think of it this way: the image projected onto a movie screen is not the real object. It is the projection of a real source. What we see on the screen is only a two-dimensional shadow of something far greater. Our universe may work in exactly the same way. The true reality may exist somewhere beyond our perception, while we experience only its projection. This makes the question even more compelling: if Earth is the wall upon which our shadows are projected, where is our true reality hanging? And what lies outside the cave? Quantum physics takes this idea even further. Because at the quantum level, reality doesn't behave the way we're used to. In everyday life, something either exists or it doesn't. A stone cannot be on the ground and in the air at the same time. A door cannot be both open and closed. But in the quantum world, things work very differently. Until they are measured, particles do not exist in a single, definite state. Instead, they exist as a range of possibilities, something physicists describe mathematically with a quantum state, often visualized as a cloud of probabilities. An electron may have multiple possible positions until it is measured. It can display both wave-like and particle-like behavior, depending on how it is observed. This phenomenon is known as superposition. And it suggests that reality is far less intuitive than it appears. When a quantum system is measured, the range of possible outcomes gives way to a single observed result. From our perspective, one definite reality emerges. It is almost as if the universe says, the moment you look, one possibility becomes your observed reality. This raises a profound question: until a measurement is made, reality is fundamentally described in terms of probabilities rather than definite outcomes. That idea invites us to rethink the chains in Plato's cave. Perhaps the chains were never physical. Perhaps they represent our biological limitations. Our eyes, our ears, and our brains are all gateways that filter reality. Each gateway allows only a limited amount of information from the outside world to pass through. And we mistake that filtered experience for reality itself. In other words, we do not perceive reality in its entirety. We perceive only the portion that our senses allow us to experience. Modern physics takes the idea one step further. The person who escapes Plato's cave discovers a single world. But today, science suggests something even more extraordinary: there may not be just one reality outside the cave. There could be countless universes. This idea is known as the multiverse. Each universe could have its own laws of physics. In one universe, faster-than-light travel might be possible. In another, time could flow differently. In yet another, matter might never have formed at all. Our universe may be nothing more than a single shadow in this vast ocean of possible universes. Perhaps there are millions of different walls, each one displaying its own set of shadows. And perhaps we are merely traces projected onto the surface of one of them. This idea reminds us how small the reality we experience may actually be. Perhaps our universe is only one layer of a much larger structure. Perhaps we are projections suspended upon that layer. And now, artificial intelligence. AI is becoming a new interpreter of reality. Algorithms, filter bubbles, digital shadows, perhaps we are building an entirely new cave. In the digital world, what we see is often not reality itself, but a version of reality selected and presented by algorithms. That, too, is a kind of shadow. Yet at the same time, systems that model the universe, quantum simulations, and research into consciousness, may also be opening a new doorway out of the cave. Artificial intelligence could become a tool that helps us see those shadows more clearly. Perhaps, for the first time in history, we have a chance to move closer to the light beyond the cave. And so we return to the original question: if this world is the wall in Plato's cave, where are we hanging? Perhaps our world is merely a shadow projected onto the surface of a higher dimensional reality. Perhaps we ourselves are projections suspended upon that surface. Perhaps reality is far less solid than it appears. Perhaps what we experience is not reality itself, but the story reality tells. But one thing seems certain: we are beginning to understand where the shadows come from. Reality is not where the light falls, it is where the light originates.